In this lesson, we will discuss the different categories of software. Now, as we discussed earlier, software is a set of instructions that tell the computer what to do. And the software is also called a program, and software is the reason or the motivation for the people to purchase computers. Software is important because it runs the machine. So there are two main types of softwares. Number one, system software, and number two, application software. Now let's see what is a system software. A software that controls the computer hardware and enables the computer to run more efficiently is called the system software. Now there are three main types of system software. Number one, operating system. Number two, network operating system. And number three, utility software. Now let's discuss what is an operating system. An operating system acts as an intermediary between the user of a computer and the computer hardware. By intermediary, I mean an intermediate layer between the user of the system and the computer hardware. Okay. Now, it is the main responsibility of the operating system to tell the computer how to use its own components. An operating system allows the computer to run the different kinds of application programs. Now, when you are running a program or the software, and the program or the software, or in other words the user of that program, wants the hardware to perform a specific task, for example copying or printing a file, then operating system handles this request. Okay, so operating system basically tells the hardware to perform or accomplish this request. Now the examples of operating system are Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. I mean the entire Windows family of operating systems. Then you have Linux operating system and the Mac operating system. So these are just few examples of the operating systems. Okay. Now, as of today, Windows is the most popular operating system on desktops and laptops, with a market share of around 74.96% among the desktop operating systems. Okay, and among the Windows family of operating systems, the most popular Windows operating system is the Windows 10 operating system. Now let's see what is a network operating system. A network operating system enables computer across a network to exchange data or messages, and it allows the computers across a network to share the data. A network operating system manages different network operations while at the same time taking care of the network security. An example of network operating system is Windows Server 2019. Let us now discuss what is a utility software. A utility is a software that executes extremely sophisticated but specialized tasks, and Thus, it makes a computer more easier to use. Now, utility softwares or programs are used to manage the hard disks, and they are also used to troubleshoot various hardware problems and perform various other tasks that the operating system itself may not be able to do. Now, dozens of utility softwares exist for personal computers, and each of these utility softwares perform some specialized tasks. For example, a utility software by the name of Partition Magic lets you control your hard disk so as to get maximum out of the available space. So you can see the screenshot of this Partition Magic software by PowerQuest. Okay, so this software, this utility software, is basically used to manage your hard disk so as to get the maximum out of the space available. Okay. Now, other examples of utility software are the antivirus software. Okay, so there are different types of antivirus softwares exist, and the popular ones are the Kaspersky antivirus software. Okay, then you have the Norton antivirus software, and then McAfee. So there are many other types of antivirus softwares that exist. Then you have the disk cleanup utility software in Windows, and then you have the Microsoft Disk Optimizer, which was formerly known as Disk Defragmenter. We will discuss about disk cleanup and disk defragmenter when we discuss the storage devices. And then you have another utility available in your Windows operating system, which is known as Windows Backup and Restore. So all of these softwares are examples of utility software. Now let's discuss what is an application software. An application software tells the computer to perform a specific task. For example, word processing, creating animations, photo editing. Okay, so the application software is basically meant to perform one specific task. Okay, now there are thousands and thousands of application softwares out there that cater to a myriad of user needs. Now, the application software is the most common type of the software.
We may classify application software into the following broad categories. Number 1, word processing software. Word processing software is used for creating and editing text-based documents. For example, book chapters, newsletters, or brochures. An example of word processing software is Microsoft Word. Next comes the spreadsheet software. Spreadsheet softwares are used for creating numeric-based documents, and they are used normally to deal with financial data. For example, the organizational budget or balance sheets. Okay, so if you are dealing with the financial data such as balance sheets or organizational budget, then spreadsheet softwares are used. An example of spreadsheet software is Microsoft Excel. Now next comes the database management software. Database management software is used for building and manipulating large sets of data. For example, the names or or addresses or phone numbers in a telephone directory. Now, the examples of database management software could be Microsoft Access, MySQL, or Oracle RDBMS. Now, the next type of application software is the presentation software, which is normally used to create different slides and presenting electronic slideshows. An example of presentation software is Microsoft PowerPoint. Next comes the graphics software. The graphics softwares are used for designing illustrations or manipulating different photographs or animations. An example of graphics software is Adobe Photoshop, which is used to manipulate different photos. Then you have Adobe Illustrator, which may be used for illustration purpose, and then you have the Adobe Animate for creating animations. Next type of application software is the entertainment software, and computer games are a good example of entertainment software. The computer games may be single player games or they may be played by multiple people over a network, such as an internet. Next comes the educational software, which is normally employed by teachers for online teaching. A good example of educational software is Microsoft Teams, which allows you to host interactive sessions. Then you have multimedia authoring softwares for creating digital movies, and examples of multimedia softwares could be Windows Movie Maker, and a very good example of multimedia software that is meant to create digital movies is Adobe Premiere Pro. Now we have different kinds of web design tools, and the two famous examples of such web design tools are Adobe Dreamweaver and Bootstrap. Now, the next category of application softwares is the web browsers. A web browser is an application software for accessing the World Wide Web. The examples of web browsers are Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, and Microsoft Edge. Next category is the internet applications, for example, email programs such as Microsoft Outlook and newsreaders that are used to read and post messages to different news groups. A good example of a newsreader is Easy News. Next category is the screen recorder. The screen recorder is used to record the computer screen or to capture screenshots. Two famous examples of screen recorders are Camtasia, and the one I am using is called Screencast-O-Matic. The last category of application software is the whiteboard animation software, which is used to create different kinds of whiteboard animations. Two famous examples of whiteboard animation software are VideoScribe and Doodly. So this brings us to the end of today's lesson. Don't forget to share your feedback with me. Thanks for watching.